I know you've seen it.
Yeah, we've seen most of what we do.
But have you ever seen... Did you ever see Forrest Gump? Could you imagine if the answer was no? You're 36.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say maybe a Gen Zer wouldn't, know.
You know why they might not? And I hate to start with, like, some intergenerational shit. Okay?
I don't want to be a boomer about it, but this is a boomer.
Look, I'm a fucking libcuck myself.
Yeah.
But there's different generations. There's, like, a tiered system of cuckery, of libtardedness.
Yeah.
And I see stuff from Gen Z and people like that, especially on TikTok, where they say Forrest Gump is conservative boomer propaganda.
And I don't get that. It's not like it's a John Wayne movie or like a...
Look at it this way. Forrest Gump, the character in the movie, does everything by the books. He does exactly what he's told on the football field in college. Bam, he's like breaking fucking records, greatest running back they ever had. Then he gets to the military, right? It's like, you're gonna be a general one day. He does exactly what is asked of him, fucking crushes it, right? Yeah. Gets shot in the buttocks, right? Meets the fucking president, several of them. Yeah. Then he winds up, they just hand him a paddle, and he's just like, I guess I'll be a paddler. And before you know it, he's the best ping pong player who ever fucking lived.
Beat the Chinese.
Exactly, right? Yeah. Okay, now, his whole life, everything he does works out when he listens to authority.
Yeah.
Jenny, right? Jenny, rebel, joins the anti-war movement, is hanging out with, like, the DSA guy, who's portrayed as, like, the ultimate, like, woman-beating college dick face.
Yeah, it's like, make him look like John Lennon also.
Right, kind of, yeah. And then he winds up she winds up just going off and being like a rock and roll groupie or whatever, dies of AIDS.
Yeah.
Right? She has this very liberal life, dies of fucking AIDS. He lives the fucking just conservative, button down, do what you're told life. Everything goes perfectly.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody clipped us talking about this right now, you and I could wind up getting a big thumbs up from Candace fucking Owens, right?
Yeah.
She's like, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Shapiro or somebody.
Yeah, Shapiro, exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it's conservative propaganda.
No.
But now that I've laid it out, what that guy said, I feel like I see his point.
But there's, but he's being biased about it, though. That's like one take.
Well, yeah, well, for sure. The way I see it is it's a movie that just kind of makes fun of the second half of the 20th century in America. It just makes fun of the 60s and 70s in America, basically, right? Yeah. Do you remember, like, a year or two ago, there was that, like, QAnon-adjacent movie where it was, like with Jim Caviezel?
Okay, yeah.
It was about, like, kidnapping kids into sex slavery or whatever.
Yeah, I forgot what it was called.
And this one American Christian straight white man.
The savior,
with a good, sizable, thicky dicky.
Yeah.
Just stepped up and said, you're canceled, actually. Cancel culture? You're canceled.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, something, right? I didn't see the movie. Yeah. But I remember everybody on the left and on Twitter and shit being so upset that this movie was a hit. Right? And I remember being like, conservatives get to have movies too.
Yeah.
They get to have movies too.
Yeah.
It's not like every movie has to be like this just absolute fucking just progressive, beautiful thing. They never are anyways.
No.
To be honest, how many fucking times has Pixar been like, hey, got gay people in this one? It's just like two guys like
in the background.
kind of like hooking pinkies in the background.
Yeah, it's like tee. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like but then the right gets pissed off. They had gay people. I was like, you could barely see them.
You could barely fucking see them.
Yeah.
It does not matter. Your kid would not know about it. Your kid does not care. Your kid is gay. If you're a conservative, you need to understand that all kids are already really super gay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gay as an adult.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, I was fucking like Jonathan Van Ness level fucking gay, dude. I was like shaking my little keister at Supercuts before I got my hair did. Dude, just like,
well, when I was a kid, I think the gayest thing I did was
suck off a guy, right?
Yeah. Then he went to jail. No, of course, I'm into wrestling, so I was going through my mom's drawer, and she had, like, leopard panties, and I put them on to be Jimmy Snuka.
A wrestler, I guess?
Yeah, and I got in trouble.
Was she, were your parents like, oh my God, is he gay?
I don't know. Probably.
Okay, so one time I put on my mom's panties because I was like, they just looked so shiny.
Well, Jimmy Snuka had, like, leopard panties.
Yes. Okay. See there. You're not running from this. Good.
I was jumping off the couch doing splashes onto my Hulk Hogan wrestling buddy doll.
Yeah. Oh, I used to have a big Macho Man Randy Savage plush doll, and I would just go to bed with it, and I would just be like, "Mwah, I love you, future husband." It didn't talk.
Okay.
But it didn't need to. That was what I like a good stoic, quiet man.
Yeah, like I had a Hulk Hogan.
Firm hand though.
Yeah.
Like when I get out of
Exactly.
line, I want this guy just daddy mode.
I had the Hulk Hogan one, and if you slammed it down, he'd go, "Oh, you're hurting me, brother." It's funny.
Yeah, of course it's funny.
Yeah.
It made me laugh. But with, you know what I always wanted though, plush doll was?
What's that?
A Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Okay, so when it comes to Forrest Gump, it was on TBS, TNT. I feel like it was on every channel.
Yeah.
Like it was almost like the Forrest Gump box is what
Yeah.
the TV was in the late 90s,
Yeah.
early 2000s. It was just a Forrest Gump box. You turned it on, Forrest Gump was on, right? You just had Gary Sinise just always talking through his teeth.
Yeah.
That's his entire
I'd have
acting
to say
style.
this is the only movie where I like Gary Sinise.
I think me too.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
Hold
actually
on.
acting in it.
You know what's so funny about Gary Sinise? He started what's considered one of the great acting schools or theater companies
Yeah.
in Chicago or something in the 80s with his really close friend,
John Malkovich.
John Malkovich.
Yeah.
And I think they're both conservative guys.
Yeah.
I don't care, you know.
Yeah, okay.
Like Gary Sinise does a lot for like wounded soldiers,
yeah.
the wounded heroes or whatever it's
Yeah.
called. Like he's a mensch, okay? Like Gary Sinise does kind of rule. But you're right, he doesn't rule when he's on camera because it's always this. He's always just kind of talking to his
Titanium alloy, Forrest.
Yeah,
this is my fat wife, Susan.
just very tight teeth. and
Yeah.
Like I love Forrest Gump, and I think it's the fact that Gary Sinise rules in it because he does have a fucking really cool character arc. He's like, every single one of my forebears died in a great American war.
Yeah, that's what he
You
wanted.
fucking robbed me of that.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of talking about how Vietnam's a bullshit war. Not a very conservative fucking statement in 1994.
No,
95.
yeah.
But you know what I don't hate?
Forrest Gump.